Being able to run your swivel knife effectively is really going to set you up for success when tooling leather. In this video, I'm going to talk about a few different techniques that's going to help to give you nice clean lines as well as fade those off and set yourself up for the rest of the pattern. The specific pattern that I'm going to be cutting on is my belt pattern 122. There's a link to that in the description if you want to tool along. Otherwise, take these skills, apply them to your own patterns, and hopefully it'll help you elevate your tooling game. The first tip on this pattern is with these tight ridges on these flowers here. Now, one thing with our cuts, we're always pulling those flower petals back towards the center, but on these tighter ridges, I make one cut and I actually stop my knife and start a new cut around there. It's going to help keep a nice smooth cut so we're not keeping that knife in there and turning real sharp and tearing that leather up. No matter what cuts we're doing, we want to try to make yourself as comfortable as you can. If you need to move your arm or move the leather, stay comfortable while you're cutting your leather. All right, the next thing is moving down these vines. We want to work to fade those lines off, especially these ones that end within the vine work. So meaning that end is right here, loose in there. All these ones here. If there's a line that's intersecting 2 points like this, we don't need to fade that one out per se, but these ones that end within the vine work, we want to fade that out. We want to start those cuts deep and lighten up the pressure as you pull that back. Notice when I'm doing that, when I'm fading those cuts, that my knife is staying at a consistent angle. And then I just release pressure as I pull it. I don't want to fade that cut by tipping my knife as I pull that cut. I'm wanting to pull my whole hand when I pull that cut. One comes around, I lighten the pressure up. I'm not moving my hand like this. These little round cuts, I can pull one direction, starting at the center of that. Now I can come to the other direction. The other way to do a tight round cut is if you have the room to turn your leather. We can turn the leather, rotate the leather, your hand, and your knife, and all of that around there. Okay, move down to the second portion on this. Same thing, more vine work here. We're going to look at fading these cuts, starting deep, fading that off nice and slow. So see that consistent fade that we're getting in that line? That's going to make it way easier to fade that with a bevel when we come back if we do a good job fading it right from the start with our knife. Remember too that all of your down pressure on your knife should be coming from the top of your finger. That's where your down pressure. Your other fingers are just simply rolling and turning that blade. If you're trying to get your down pressure by gripping and pushing down with those fingers, you're going to have a lot choppier cuts. It's going to be harder to make that nice smooth turn as you're pulling those. The other thing that I like doing is keeping this ring finger right down here by the blade. That seems to give me a little bit more control as I pull those cuts and rotate that knife, keeping those cuts right on track where I want them to be.